All right. Whew. I just had something powerful come to me when I was in the shower, and my music stopped immediately. I was listening to music. I like to listen to music when I shower. I do indeed. I had this young lady. I went to grab a couple of beers when I got off because, whew, what a day. What a day. And so I went and grabbed me a couple of beers, right? And the lady carded me. And she was trying to scan my ID and it wouldn't scan. And she looked at the age and she's like, wow, you've aged well. I was like, oh my gosh, you made my. I was like, I can't even tell you what you made mine. She's like, you really have. You've aged well. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I told her, I said, well, I take each day as it is and I pick my battles. That is what I do. That's how you age well. However, when I got in my car, I added a little prefaces to it. I choose to be kind. I choose to be forgiving. I choose to be loving. I choose not to be greedy. I choose to be humble. I choose to walk with humility. And it's, help me age the way that I age. And I give grace to God on that. And so it's one of those things, to each their own. That said, so I was in the shower. I got to thinking in my little wheelhouse about pressures. When people apply pressure on you, I have found myself in a world pretty much my whole life where people apply pressure on me. And I would always bend to the knee. I would bend the knee 100% to pressure. I would indeed. I take full ownership in that. You could apply just a little bit of pressure and I would be like, okay. I just did. I did. I don't like confrontation. I give people space. I always have been that type of person. And so that's just how I rolled until I had boundaries, healthy boundaries. By that, healthy boundaries. There's a difference between healthy boundaries and unhealthy boundaries. Being a healthy empath and an unhealthy empath. You've got to find that. That said, it brought me back to a time with my ex. There's this peculiarness. There's a lot of ramp up. These are for all the wood choppers out there, It's so funny because I think about it, I see these common words that they use when they literally show you that they're playing a show in your life. They're doing the same thing with Charlie Kirk. And now I pick up on that. For example, when I worked at that company, there was a young lady that worked with me for many years. And she was phenomenal, but she was not going to go above and beyond. She was going to do her job, her responsibilities, and that was it. My boss referred to her as a wood chopper. She chopped wood. That was what he referred to her as. She chopped wood. She didn't say much. She didn't have much expectation. She didn't do much, and it was just a unique dynamic, to say the least. However, it brings me back to when I had a run-in with my ex in 2025. And I met up with his parents. And it was the oddest comment. It came out of nowhere, but I rode with it because that's what I do. I ride with comments. I ride with exterior crap. It makes no difference to me. But they asked me how my kid was doing and asked me something about him chopping wood. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're meaning, but he's doing great. I just rode with the conversation. It was just the most oddest thing. It was the most oddest thing. It came out of nowhere. We're at a baseball game. I was like, whatever. But as I was taking my shower, I was thinking about the pressure. When my ex got a trust, his mother was applying pressure. She was super, super on it about him needing to get a trust. Because, his business was building and he was building his wealth in the way that, a very humble man. He did it how he did it, whatever. But either way, she was applying it. She felt it was really necessary. And so she applied it to me. And then I applied it to him, right? Because I jumped in line. I was always somebody that stayed in line, generally speaking, based off the people in my life, right? And so just the dynamics of that, I was like, wow, it's so unique. It's a unique concept because my ex did get a trust. And when he got his trust, no way, no how did we ever talk about these things. You gotta understand, we've been in and out of each other's life since I was 17. Money, all that, none of that never mattered. Never ever mattered. It was never even nothing. No. But he had told me that he put me in the trust. I was like, what? Come again? Right? Right there with his mom. Right there with his madre. I was like, whoa. Whoa. I wasn't ready for it. I was really touched by it. I was like, whoa. I didn't, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It really did. But just the dynamics of the whole scenario, because I've seen that within my reality in reference to the pressures, even when I was with my ex-husband, and the pressures that I faced there, the divorce, the filing of the deed, everything that happened with that, which was so unlawful, and they know it. They know that. You can just go check the court docs. How they filed it was unlawful. And then if you go back to my grandparents, their deed, their filings, all of it, they're either not there at all, or none of them make sense. None of them make sense. And so this is where it gets very, very interesting when it comes to my walk and those peering eyes that come in and think they know the full story. Baby cakes. You only know the story that you're provided, and you're only playing the part that they're wanting you to play, because we're all playing a part in this little movie, this little wood chopping scene that we all find ourselves in, right? Those that are wood choppers and those that are not, those that are facilitating the story, putting little players, little bad actors, little extras where they may, the pieces that they may, right? And it's just one of those things. When you find yourself in a world of people applying pressure, when you can't make sense of the pressure that they're applying, that's the divine, that's your higher self saying, wait a minute. You need time to go in, do some healing, do some soul searching, and figure out what exactly makes you happy, and quit allowing the exterior world to apply pressure to you to tell you what you need to do in your world. Whether it's trust, whether it's wills, whether it's divorces, whether it's filing this, it's filing that. Either way, it happens a lot. It happens a lot. And it has in my storyline. And I'm sure a freaking plethora of people. Because unfortunately, in this world that we have so found ourselves living in, within family dynamics, you have some darkness. You have some deep-rooted things that people do to gain a certain substantial amount of wealth or abundance, to put themselves on some kind of map that they think they deserve to be on, or God graced them to be on this map. And so while they're doing the moves that they make within your world, it was all anointed by God, you see, because these are all very church-going people, and they know God elected them to play this type of role in this world. Seriously. And so I hope this video resonated. Storytelling. Take it, spin it, run it. But the reality is, if you find yourself in a world filled with people that are applying pressure to you, you need to figure out why they are. Why they are. Because generally speaking, most people aren't going to apply pressure unless pressure is needed to be applied. That's just a generic equation. Literally, that's just mathing, right? I'm a young person. He's a young person. I mean, generally speaking, when people are talking about trust, things like that, same thing with a will with Charlie Kirk. Same freaking scenario. Like, do you know you're going to die soon? Do you know something I don't know? Are you planning something that I'm unaware of? Like, let me know, and we can facilitate this easier. But no, they put you in a reality where they control the reality around you and make you think that decisions you're making are yours. But in reality, they are theirs. And that's just the truth of the reality that we all face ourselves individually. There you go. I love you guys. Have a great night.